Sorry to say, but we're starting with tragic news that is being spun by the corporate media to push, of course, the political agenda.
Always.
A murderer named Mauricio Martinez Garcia, shot and killed 7 people in a Texas mall and then was shot and killed by police. The loss of life, oh man, is so sad. What's even sadder, perhaps, is that the media are trying to make this into a race issue.
Yep.
The Washington Post cites law enforcement sources in their coverage of this incident, and they are calling this Hispanic man a white supremacist. Just want to say that one more time. An Hispanic man, a white supremacist.
I mean, it's not funny because the guy is dead, and there were a lot of people very traumatized, and this was a horrific situation.
Yeah.
But here's a quote from the Washington Post story. Federal officials are looking into whether the gunman who killed 8 people at a Dallas area mall expressed an interest in white supremacy ideology Sunday as they work to discern a motive for the attack. Now, this is the definition of gaslighting. We can see that this spin on this story is just on its face, it's absurd. I was telling Jason, I said, our producer, I said, you know, it'd be one thing if the guy didn't have a whole Hispanic name and if he weren't Hispanic, but he is. And I don't know. I mean, surely there's a Smith that's committed a murder somewhere that they could make up and say, you know, they won't release that manifesto, of course, from the trans guy, girl who killed all those, you know,
so
people in the school.
Right now.
And
guy,
so they
girl.
won't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But they don't want to ever talk about, you know, the trans people that are having these mental breakdowns and committing some of these horrific shootings. But to spin this story is crazy. They're trying to convince us that we're the crazy ones. Mauricio Martinez Garcia, clearly not a white supremacist. I'm sorry. You'd have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to believe that.
Well, speaking of that, the ladies on The View commented on this, and here is what Ana Navarro had to say.
We all have to remember that the head of the Proud Boys, his name is Enrique Tarrio. The Proud Boys is a white nationalist group. Look, being Hispanic or being black does not, or being anything, does not make you immune from being racist, from being radicalized, from being a white supremacist, from being evil, from being homicidal. And we are seeing it over and over again.
I'm sorry?
You could be a lot of things. You could be, and here's another question
but they
I always
believe
have.
that. They believe you can look like a guy completely, but say you're a woman. They believe that you can be white, but say you're black. I mean, it's what's next?
Yeah,
I think I'm
by
a cat.
the way, BLM, when they commit murders, that's not black supremacy. Just by the way.
Yeah.
There's a great Dave Chappelle skit about a black white supremacist, and it was so funny because it was so outlandish. But now we have a moment, folks, in history where real life is actually crazier than fiction.
Yeah, that was a really funny skit. Let's welcome in Carolyn Ryan. Always good to see you. So supposedly this guy was looking up neo-Nazism. He was in the military. They wouldn't let him in. They were concerned about his mental capacity. I don't know, but I mean, to Gina's point, I mean, I can't make sense of what Ana Navarro just said. I mean, the guy is Hispanic. How can you be Hispanic and be a white supremacist unless, I mean, maybe is that mentally deranged? I don't know. Clearly there's stuff wrong with him. You don't just go in there and shoot up a mall and kill innocent children. But still, what's going on? Your thoughts?
Yeah, good to see you guys. Hey, you know, I think Ana Navarro there was inflating 2 points, and she almost she almost like proved herself wrong there in her comments, right? Because she was saying that you can be a white supremacist and be Hispanic, but in the same breath she said any person of any color can be racist, and to that I agree with her. You can be a black person and be racist towards white. I would like to hear her say that. I don't think that that's what she meant. But that statement in and of itself is true. But getting back to the guy at hand, yes, Mauricio Martinez Garcia, they're trying to tell you he's a white supremacist. Apparently he had some sort of patch on his vest that had an acronym for something that is tied to neo-Nazism. I'm willing to hear them out and hear where, you know, he got this patch and what it means, and that's fair. We need to all wait until all the details come out. But if all of these outlets like the AP and the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal and all the rest are going to run these headlines saying it's because of this patch that he was wearing and they're investigating these ties to white supremacy, then you better report all the facts that go along with it, because he also had a bunch of tattoos that a lot of people are reporting online have ties to the cartel and have ties to gang. So let's hear the full story. If you cherry pick those little things out and you run that as your headline, that is why people don't trust you.